Boeing Field is one of the coolest airports in the United States. From 737 MAXs, the 777-9s, the general aviation, this airport has it all, and I'm excited to bring you all along for the journey. So let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Alrighty, everybody, so let's go ahead and dive into Boeing Field. I really hope all of you are excited for this, as I'm super excited to check this out on this beautiful July afternoon, and what a cool airport Boeing Field is with all the Boeing aircraft. It's going to be an absolute blast. We also have some general aviation as well, so this is going to be super awesome. Definitely check out, if you haven't already, all the Seattle content with both plane spotting videos, the Museum of Flight, so on and so forth. We have so many amazing videos coming out from this trip so far, but it's time to check out Boeing Field, as it's going to be absolutely awesome, and we're starting off on the bang right here. So this was actually took from the gift shop of the Museum of Flight. This is a Boeing 777-9X. So if you don't know, Boeing is currently working towards getting the 777-9X in commercial service. They have built a magnitude of prototypes, and we're going to see more of those in their introductory stage at Everett Field in the Everett video, so definitely stay on the lookout for that. But this is what a fully painted one looks like with the folded up wing tips. So here's this example right here. It's November 7/7. I think that's I can't tell if it's an 8 or what it is, but nevertheless, this is an iPhone shot, so I did the best I could. So apologies there, but nevertheless, I do have a model of one as well, so definitely check out my video on that. But this is a super cool aircraft with the wingtips that can fold up and down. Just overall, it's an absolute blast to see these. So definitely check these out if you're in Seattle, whether you go to Boeing Field or Everett to check them out. They are so cool. So excited to see more of these coming up in the future. But here at Boeing Field, they do a variety of tests on them. So this is where you'll find them in their painted state doing test flights. So overall, really cool to see this. In this frame as well, you can also see a variety of general aviation aircraft. You have quite a few Falcons and Challengers there under the tail of the aircraft, a handful of props over there on the left, and then you also have a Piper right here in front of us too. So definitely a nice variety of aircraft here, to say the least. Looks so Seattle-like with those trees in the background, a couple houses. So what a vibe right here, and certainly really glad to see this aircraft here. So this is absolutely awesome. Also, I apologize, I only have a handful of shots here, so I'll do my best to show as many as I can, and I'll also bring up Google to give you a little bit better of an understanding too. So this next picture here shows, again, I apologize that these pictures aren't very good. We do have a good one at the end, luckily, but here is a beautiful, this appears to be getting painted in American Airlines livery on the 737 MAX 8. Boeing Field's really, covered up, so they have a bunch of walls and other various pieces to block up the aircraft. Obviously, the airlines don't want their planes being shown while they're being built, neither does Boeing, so that's why they're blocked up so well. So this is a double fence, for example, but you can still see them as you're driving by. You just got to kind of be strategic. Luckily, I was not the driver here, so I was able to capture some photos for you all. So this is still really cool to see, and definitely really glad to see this, and definitely still want to go back and do some formal plane spotting at Boeing Field. But when you have SeaTac there, Everett, it's an absolute just ginormous juggernaut with regards to trying to get all the captures. But still, as you can see here, we still got some really cool captures. Here's another double fence here and kind of a hangar structure that we're trying to shoot through. I can't really see that very well in this picture. I think I might have another one, so let me go ahead and make sure before I lock in on that picture, because I think I have a better one we can look at here. Let's try. This one appears to be the best one so far, so let's try this one. So this appears to be a Saudia 737 MAX 8. I might be wrong, but some carrier from around that area kind of has the Saudia covers, so colors. So apologize if I'm wrong, but that's still a really cool aircraft to see them working on there. Fully painted, looks like they're doing some engine work there, so that's really cool. And we also have I can't see what the airline is, but some Air 737 MAX 8 over there too. It's an orange and purple livery. I've never heard of that airline, so it's really cool to see some sort of random airlines aircraft over there. So that looks really nice. I'm certainly really glad to see that. Again, I apologize, that's a little tough to see. I have one really good photo that luckily we'll really be able to break down. We'll spend some good time on that. So I also have some pictures on Google I'll show you just to get a better perception of what it's like. So it's like casts in there. I'm not exactly sure, but though I don't have all the letters there, so hopefully we get another better perspective here in a moment. So let's continue to look through these photos. I can identify this one, luckily though. Here is a Copa Airlines 737 MAX 9 getting worked on right here. So as you can tell, more fence, Viking fences that is. So we're not going to be getting very good angles of the actual planes, but it's still really cool to see them through the fence here, and I thought it was definitely worth sharing. So that's really nice there too. Here we have just a completely blank 737 MAX 8. So or MAX 9, whichever aircraft it is. So this likely just got ferried down from Seattle Everett airport, and obviously now here at Boeing Field, I'm sure they're going to be painting it up here pretty soon, but still really cool to see it in this really raw stage. That bear color is so cool. We're going to see that really on display at Seattle Everett. It's going to be a blast, so really cool. But we have a really good shot here at Boeing Field. So here's a magnitude. It's not this shot, by the way, but here we have a magnitude of fully painted 777-9s. This picture is especially cool because I think we exhibit all three variants of the livery. So here's one of them right here. Unless this is a 222. This could be a 222 because I know they have some different triples out there, but these two for sure are 777-9Xs. This one very well could be the one that we saw land right there, so that one's really nice. But we also have the hybrid 777-9X livery. So it appears that the wingtips are up. I do think I get a better shot here in a moment, so we'll see that in a moment. But you can see here, it doesn't have the blue underneath here. It's just the 9 on the tail, which I think is really cool. So that shot's especially cool, and definitely super glad to get to see that shot. So let's see if I have a better one right here. Okay, this is it right here. This is the hands down best shot of the day. So let's take a look at this one. So as you can see, we have all the aircraft lined up here. This is an extremely cool shot at Boeing Field. So there's a fence here on the north side that I was able to just peek through and get this really cool angle. So we have probably over a dozen, maybe 2 dozen in the frame, mainly 737 Maxes. But as you can see here on the right, we do have a nice variety of 777. So let's take a look at this. So you got the Boeing hangar right here as well, which is also really cool. But as you can see right here, we have the normal 777-9X I was telling you all about. Here's one without the blue underneath. So this one's probably in its what's the word I'm looking for? The prototype stages there. You can see the Boeing is actually navy on this aircraft, so that's really cool. But it does have the wingtips folded up, and it does also have that etch the door right there, so that's really cool. There's different variants of the 777-9X, and I think some of them have etch the doors, so that's extremely cool. So it's super cool to catch that. Also note a Southwest 737 MAX 8 hanging out right there too, so that's really nice. And then this is, I think, a 777-200 variant that they're working on. That's what it seems like at least, but it's some sort of 777. So really cool with the Boeing logo, and then all this color on it. Definitely a bunch going on there, so that's really nice. And we have just a plethora of 737 Maxes down here. This is a extremely cool frame. Apologies if the picture's not the best. Again, I only had one full day at Seattle, so I did my absolute best to encapsulate all of what's going on here. So obviously with the Museum of Flight and Everett and SeaTac, there was only so much time, but I'm still feeling really fortunate that I was able to stop by Boeing Field, and I hope to stop by again in the future to really get a good rundown and get better shots than this, because while this isn't the worst shot in the world, we also definitely seen better shots in the past. So let's take a look at all these beautiful 737 Maxes. So I can't identify this one right here, but it's a really good looking aircraft. Somebody knows, feel free to let me know. Almost looks like a Delta, but it's not. So that's still really cool to see. I'm thinking these are 2 United 737 MAX 9s. However, one of them could be a MAX 8, so on and so forth. This appears to be closer to a MAX 9. So really great to see both these aircraft right here and in their natural habitat. That will not be the only time during this trip we'll see a MAX 9 getting worked on, so stay on the lookout for that. And then right there, that next aircraft is a Southwest 737 MAX 8 for sure, so that's really cool to identify. Really good bet on this being an Alaska 737 MAX 9. I highly doubt they were already working on MAX 8s during this visit in July 2023, so that's really cool. Here's an American 737 MAX 8. Also worth noting that this is on the east side here of that main ramp. You can see over there on this side over here, that west side, they have a bunch of aircraft facing going east, and then these aircraft that we're currently looking at are facing west. So definitely interesting to note that. So we have our nice slew of American carriers here, and then we have some international carriers. So let's take a look. This appears to be an Orion Air 737 MAX 8-200, or however you say that particular variant. So that's really nice to see right there. Definitely want to check them out sometime. They seem really cool. I believe this is going to be a Flare 737 MAX 8, so that one's really cool to see. This is the pair that we had a challenging time identifying previously. Can't tell that one, and I think this might be Saudia, but I'm not completely sure, so that's really nice. And then we can definitely confirm that this is the Copa we were looking at. This is definitely the American that we saw earlier. I can't identify that tail. If anybody can identify it, feel free to let me know, but really cool to see the bear aspect over there as well, lined up with just the fully painted one. So definitely some nice variety there, and we're looking really nice, to say the least. Back here, there's a Southwest one right there, and then I can't identify that one, but that one's really cool. Same song, second verse there. I can definitely identify this one as a Southwest. These are also bear green right here. You can see the top of the fuselages there, so that's really cool. And then our last one right here, I believe, is an X-Men Air 737 MAX 8. So this one's certainly really cool to identify, and I'm certainly really glad to see that. So a really cool shot. Was super glad to get this. You can see all of what's going on here at Boeing Field. A really unique shot, and definitely a really memorable capture here at Boeing Field, to say the least. So now let's take a look at Google, and I'll give you a brief rundown of the airport before we conclude today's video. Alright everybody, so credit to all these respective photographers and sources here for these images. So first off, shout out to Washington State Department of Transportation here for this Boeing Field write-up, but the real part that I wanted to go over here was this image right here, so you can really get a good view here of the airport. So let me bring this up. I know it's going to be just a little bit fuzzy, so I apologize. But anyway, so this is the top of Boeing Field and what it looks like. So the ramp that we took a look at is right here. The Museum of Flight, I believe, is right here. As you can see, we'll have an upcoming video on that, so stay on the lookout for that. So that's this whole venue right here, and they have a walkway across the road, which is really cool. We have more facilities down here and quite a huge amount of general aviation right here, so that's really cool. Railroad tracks over here on the side as well, and again, all of this Boeing is up here on the northwest side. Seattle Everett's over here somewhere, and then we have downtown Seattle right here, and Seattle Tacoma is down the road about 15 minutes south, which is this way. So you have two main runways, runway 14 right, which is the long one mainly used for the actual testing traffic, and then also some general aviation. Then 14 left is all general aviation if used, so that's right here. So really cool shot right to note right there, and all that looks really nice to say the least. Our next shot, apologies for that ad, but nevertheless, it talks about Boeing Field's spotting guide. This is a really good one, so I'd recommend checking this out. This picture was the main one I was going for here, though. So that's that northeast portion of the ramp again. So they have these really cool hard stands with all the various pieces that you need. So you can see a wide variety of nicely lit aircraft. So this is back when they were doing mainly 737 NGs, and they did have some 777-9s right here. So shout out to this article once again for the photo right there. So thank you to this person right here. Mainly some European ones, but we also have some going to China, a couple of Uniteds, and some 777-9Xs, which they've been working on for quite some time. Really cool to also note this picture right here of Boeing Field's facility in the late 60s before they moved it all to Redton there. So you can see all the 737-200s being produced, so that's really cool. And obviously now I've concentrated the majority of the operations up there to Everett, which we'll take a look at in the next video. So looking forward to that. So all this is really nice right here, and you can also see the various movements going here and some of the 737s, and they have some spotting locations listed here, so there's some good spots over here as well, so definitely check that out. So all that's really nice, and you see the really cool shots you can get of planes that you normally wouldn't see in the United States besides here, because obviously they're being painted here, so that's really cool. So really good article, and I recommend checking that out as well. And lastly, shout out to v1images.com for this one. I wanted to show this one because I thought it was extremely cool. So as you can see right here, this is the kind of parking lot area. I pulled up in this area just to try to get a look at it, but you can see they have a wide variety of painted aircraft already in here. I'm not sure if these are ready to be delivered or what it is, but that's the ramp that we've mainly been looking at over here. Being seen now, this ramp looks super cool over here with so many various airlines and different 737 MAX types. Just the one outlier right here looking really nice. And then again, this ramp can see various aircraft. So you can see right there, we have some KC-46s, and then here's a wide variety of 737 MAX being built. So this is a more recent image for sure. So definitely really cool to feature that one, and that certainly looks really nice. So I really hope all of you enjoyed this video. It was so fun to produce, and we had an absolute blast putting this all together. So we're really excited for what's to come. Seattle Everett's a really cool airport, and we're really going to get down to the bottom of where these 737 MAXs are being produced. So I really hope each and every one of you are excited for it. It's going to be a blast, and ultimately I'm so excited for what's to come here in the future. So with all that being said, everybody, that'll do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. My name's Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do what you love and love what you do. My name's Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.